What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of PlanBri Uncut, brought to you, sponsored by High Noon, my favorite drink in the world. We have a very special guest today. We have LeeAnn Kreischer.
Hello.
So excited for you to be here. But right before we picked up the mic, you just said you've been accused of having a BBL before.
I have. And I don't think I quite have a BBL, but I definitely have a big back porch.
Okay, lucky.
Sure.
I'm the opposite. Did you always have a big back porch?
Always. Yes. And our 19-year-old has it also.
Really?
And I was like, girl, get ready. Boys will follow you everywhere. It's
literally.
crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and especially now, big butts, it's all anyone ever wants, a big butt.
Is. I know.
So Bert loves your big butt.
It's a blessing or a curse. He was never a butt guy, though. He's a boob guy.
Oh, really?
And then, then, I have this awesome trainer who's a butt guy.
Okay.
And so he focused on my butt.
Yeah.
And then Bert's like, oh my God, I'm like really into
A butt guy?
really into ass all of a sudden. My wife is looking good. A good trainer.
I need that trainer. Hook me up, please. Literally. It's like in my family, it's just concaved instead of actually
my
having
God.
one. But it's whatever. I'm so excited that you're here. I feel like I was on your pod earlier this week. And
fun.
It was so fun.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Your pod's amazing. What is the name of your podcast?
Wife of the party.
Wife of the Party.
Wife of the party.
How long have you been doing that for?
8 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
Yeah. 8 years.
Oh my gosh.
I kind of hijacked Bert's podcast studio. And so our podcast looked identical. So I was all in his space until we moved. And then I got my own little space. But yeah, 8 years ago, I guess Bert's had his for like maybe 13 years.
Yeah.
He was like, you should start a podcast. And I was like, well, what am I going to talk about? What do I have to talk about? Nothing. And then I thought, well, I have all these great girlfriends. Maybe we'll just talk about whatever.
Yeah.
And so I started out that way. And then I started going, well, I've learned a lot of life lessons. Maybe I'll talk about those and that'll help people. And then it's just kind of morphed into sometimes I talk to comics, sometimes I talk to authors, sometimes I talk to you, sometimes I talk to my kids.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit of everything.
Well, I
love it.
I learned so much about you from going on your pod because I think we exchange a lot of stories back and forth, which was you have lived so many different lives. And it is so crazy. Like, I want to go back to, you said you grew up in a log cabin.
Mm-hmm. A part of my life I was in a log cabin.
Okay.
The other part I was in gay Atlanta.
What?
At
Really?
the same time.
No, what? Okay.
Divorced parents. How about that?
No, give me like baby LeeAnn, like 15. Where were you at? What were you doing?
At 15, I was in rural Georgia, a small town called Bowden, 1,600 people. Really small town. I was living with my dad. So I was living in a log cabin then. But my dad bought the log cabin when I was about 8, maybe.
Okay.
Had no heat at all. Had 2 fireplaces.
Oh my gosh.
In 2 living rooms. No heat anywhere else. No curtains on the windows. It had big holes in the wall. You could see through the wall. My dad was single, had 2 bachelor roommates. So it literally was
Really?
Yeah.
And you?
And me. And another roommate had a son 2 years younger than me. We were both only children. So
Did you ever kiss?
No.
No?
But I had a big crush on him.
I would assume, right?
He was so cute, little blonde.
Really?
Oh my God, adorable. Brandon T. Had the biggest crush. So yeah, I had this like pod of bachelors. I was every other weekend, and from like the 3 months in the summer.
Yeah.
I was all dads all the time.
Whoa.
And then my mom was a model and lived in Atlanta in the gay community because when my parents divorced, she thought the safest place for a little girl would be with a bunch of gay men.
Yeah.
So she moved this little girl into the middle of this gay community, which was fabulous and amazing and fun, but no other children. So I was really lonely there.
Yeah.
And then I go back to this log cabin and had all these dads and like it was
straight
a
dad
kid party. It was crazy.
That is such a stark difference of like 2 things going back and forth too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, what blows my mind about that is because you grew up in such, I don't know, a log cabin and then you're in Atlanta, but you always knew you went to LA, you went to New York. Like, what made you want to do that?
That's a really good question. I think I was really, really lost for a long time.
Yeah.
And even though I grew up in the South, I wasn't making friends as an adult. I didn't really have adult friends. And so I was like, I got to get out of here. And the closest big city in my mind was New York. So I moved to New York. I had never been there. I just kind of like packed my bags and got out of the bus at the Port Authority and was like, okay.
What?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was 23.
Holy shit.
That was 1993.
Okay.
So in 1993, Times Square was dirty. It was like peep show, naked people, hookers,
like that
prostitutes,
dirty.
pimps, drugs. It was, when I got off at the Port Authority, all I could see were old movie theaters that had been converted into either peep show, like live peep show, or XXX rated movies.
And just hookers everywhere.
Everywhere.
And you were like, what did I do?
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay. Well, let's figure it out. So I just kind of figured it out, and I lived there for 4 years. I studied acting and discovered in studying acting, I liked writing better.
Okay.
So I started writing a little bit, still acting in New York. And then I got tired of the lifestyle. You know, I came from rural Georgia, and even downtown Atlanta in the 70s was not New York
like
City.
New York, no.
So I was like, well, maybe I'll try LA for a little bit, and I'll just I'll sublet my New York apartment. And if I hate LA, I'll just go back.
Yeah.
Because I never made friends in New York either.
Really?
No, I just kept going. Yeah, I didn't read like Yeats or however you say that. I don't know what you're talking about. I'd find myself in circles where people were talking about things I didn't understand.
Oh.
So I think New York bridged me to LA. So by the time I got to LA, I was just worldly enough from being in New York that I could thrive in LA. So I started making friends in LA immediately.
Oh,
so
okay.
Christine Pierce, who booked my podcast, one of my first friends in LA.
Really?
Yeah.
And you guys have stayed best friends, obviously.
Stayed friends forever. Crazy story about her. She knew Bert before I knew Bert.
No.
Yes. And I knew her before I knew Bert. So
How did she know Bert?
She knew Bert from Bert's roommate. They knew each other from Kansas City, where she's from.
No way.
So crazy.
Invisible string. That's a Taylor Swift like thing.
Is it?
Have you heard like of the invisible string theory?
No.
Okay, so she has a song called Invisible String. I mean, people have talked about it before, but she made it cool and popular.
Yeah.
Where like there's a little thing tying you two together and you have no idea, and then you find the common denominator, and it's like that's the little invisible string.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely had an invisible string.
Yeah. So you moved to New York. LA. She becomes your best friend immediately off the bat. What were you writing? Like Screenplays. Okay, so you came to LA and still were pursuing that.
Yes, I wrote 8 screenplays in about 2 years.
Oh my gosh.
One of them got made. 4 of them were optioned. I got hired to like adapt novels into screenplays. But by Sony, they wanted me to adapt a Southern novel into a screenplay, and then they lost the rights to the novel, so I didn't actually get to do that job. And then I met Bert, and then I got pregnant on the pill.
You got pregnant on the pill?
I did.
You're the 1%?
I'm the 1%.
You're the 1%.
Or Bert's the super sperm.
Yeah.
One of the two.
I'm going, you're the 1%.
I'm the 1%.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
What was that? You were like, there's no way.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. But I was older. I was 33 when I got pregnant.
Yeah.
I just turned 33. And so, you know what? I think it was really beautiful because I don't think I would have gotten married or had kids. I was so career focused and it was really driven, and I didn't really want kids, but I believe in the universe and paths kind of rising to meet you. And I was trying not to get pregnant and got pregnant. So for me, that's when God or the universe is telling you, no, this is where you should be going.
This is for you.
So that's what I did. I was like, well, then if I'm going to be a mom, then I'm going to really be a mom.
Yeah.
After all these New York City snowstorms, getting back out there feels extra good, and that's what Bumble does best. It's about bringing people together. So Bumble and Barstool teamed up to host single events that are really cool. It's nights for their communities and cities across the U.S. from now through St. Patrick's Day. So these nights are the perfect way to show up and mingle with people you already know are single and dating with intention, so there's no guessing. You're walking into a room, you're walking into one of these events, you see someone, hey, I like how they look. They're single. You can go up to talk to them. They're not going to be like, hey, I have a boyfriend, I have a girlfriend. It's perfect. The past couple events were filled with fun, easy to talk to, cool people you would actually expect to find on Bumble these days, so making it simple to show up and connect. If you're excited to make new connections, you can download Bumble today. Let's get back to the episode.
The way I wrote like so immersively. I would write 6 days a week, 8-10 hours a day. I would not take breaks. I'd just get really so into the world I was creating that I didn't want to get out of it until I was finished with the draft or the pass or whatever, or I was so exhausted. And I was like, well, you can't do that when you have kids. And I couldn't figure out how to show up and write for an hour.
Yeah.
I couldn't really do that. So I kind of switched that immersiveness into being mom, wife, partner. Bert's creative partner I could do because I could dip in and dip out. I didn't have to just stay there all day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my path before Bert.
That's crazy. And I feel like you talked about it a little bit before when I came on your show. You've always been very independent. Mm-hmm. You don't feel like you need anyone. You went to New York without even seeing it, and you left on your own at 23. And then you never wanted kids. Did you date a lot when you were going back and forth to like New York and LA?
Well, New York, I didn't date at all.
No.
New York, I had a weird, I had a lot in my childhood that I had to unravel. Mm-hmm. And I spent New York unraveling. Mm-hmm. So like I became a vegetarian. I cut all my hair off. I like dressed kind of like a boy. Mm-hmm. I was like, no boys allowed. No thanks. Not dating anybody. Not drinking. I was totally sober from a lot of stuff that happened in my childhood. And I feel like New York was a gift because it let me work all that out. So by the time I got to LA, I started dating again. I started drinking again, just casually. And I started kind of living again. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I was in a little bit of a cocoon in New York and in a very positive way. But when I got to LA, I dated a lot before I went to New York. And I always got really bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, boring. Pass. Yeah. I just run circles around everybody. Mm-hmm. And so I just was like, well, whatever. Maybe I just am a serial monogamous dater. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's just my journey. I mean, my mom has 7 marriages. Mm-hmm. My dad has 2.
Your mom had 7 marriages?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did the last one stick?
No. She just got married for the 7th recently.
Okay.
So she's still working on it.
I love that. I honestly, did you read 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo?
No.
That's your mom.
It might be too triggering for me. I don't know. It might traumatize me. No, she didn't start remarrying until I was in like middle school.
Okay.
But it's been kind of, that's her journey. But so I was like, well, I don't understand how relationships work that are healthy. And I'm not interested in an unhealthy one. Mm-hmm. So I'll just pass. I'll just see what life brings. And I'll just focus on my work and be happy as a human. Mm-hmm. I got really into who are you, what do you like, and how do you express yourself as your true self. Mm-hmm. And then if someone shows up, great, but if they don't, that's okay too. I'm cool.
Yeah, I think right now, especially with social media and how much relationships are kind of glorified or just plastered everywhere, so many people my age or like in their early 20s, they glorify needing to be in a relationship or find their values in relationships. I think I did that for a long time too. And this is like the longest I've been single, and I feel the best version of myself ever. And I think that's so important to just kind of reiterate over and over that having a partner doesn't make you less or more than.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful poem by a poet named Khalil Gibran. He has a whole book called The Prophet. Each chapter, so to speak, is a poem about something in life, about parenting, about marriage, about giving, about work, about your parents, everything. And his poem about marriage really stuck with me. I read it when I was really young. And one line says, "The oak and the elm grow not in each other's shadow." So his theory is you can't have one person whose personality needs, wants are the marriage. Mm-hmm. You have an oak and an elm can't grow if one overshadows the other. Mm-hmm. And if you're not old enough or mature enough or developed enough as a person, I think that happens inevitably.
Yeah.
Is all of a sudden you're overshadowed because you haven't developed deep enough roots as who you are. Mm-hmm. I think it's beautiful that you're spending some time single.
Yeah.
If you met your guy, that would be beautiful also.
Yeah, of course. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm not looking for it, which I think a lot of people are always like, well, when's my next relationship happening? And you said this before too. You were in a relationship when you were a little bit younger with like a guy that had a good job. He was a little bit older than you. You could have went and moved in with him, but then you would have just got swallowed by him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would have. He was actually very famous.
Yeah.
And so he was very famous and he was very respected in the music industry. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm just never going to have a voice of my own. And I'm not, I mean, I can't imagine Bert's pretty famous now. And there's a lot of standing in the background. We went to an event last night. I was like in the corner, and like these people were literally standing right in front. Like I was looking at someone's shoulder blades, and I was like, I'm completely oblivious in this room, and I'm cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I wonder how that would have affected me at 23. Like, would I have felt less of a person, or felt bad about myself because I was so completely overlooked? Whereas I just go, I understand there's a lot of bright, shiny things in this room.
Yeah.
And I'm bright and shiny on the inside, and I'm cool if none of these bright and shiny people see me. I'm good.
Yeah.
This is all good.
At least you know who you are. Yeah.
Yes, but I wonder if that had happened to me younger, if it would have made me feel really bad about myself.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I would assume so. I just as a young person, you want everyone to look at you or talk to you or include you. And then if you're not, you're like, damn, who am I?
Yeah.
And then you kind of will always fall back to the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's my value? I have no value in this room. When I have value in myself, I don't need the room to give me value. When you're younger, that's natural. That's what a lot of people do. It's what that's how you figure out your value.
Yeah.
Is you go to those places where you feel no value or little value and figure out, oh, I don't like that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that anymore. You know?
Yeah. So when did you know Bert was someone that you actually weren't bored of? And I mean, like, obviously, how do you get bored with Bert? But when did you know, like, oh, this is someone I actually want to spend my time with?
So funny. So when I was 20, all my friends were getting engaged and married. And my sweet dad, who I'm very close with, he goes, oh, honey, it's not going to work like that for you. He said, you're not going to marry a normal person. You're going to marry someone really out there because you just get too bored too fast. And so you're going to have to look for someone who's not regular. I was like, oh, that's the meanest thing you could ever say to me. How could you ever say that? I'm so cute and blah, blah, blah. But I had been dating basically the same guy over and over again. Really safe guy, really safe. That's why I got bored. So about 2 weeks into dating Bert, first of all, Bert was scared to death of me, absolutely scared to death. Did not ask me out. I asked him out.
Really?
Yes. We got invited. My friend Christine had her friend Lorenzo, who was Bert's roommate. We had a couples versus singles bowling night.
Okay.
So Christine's roommate Lorenzo brought his roommate Bert to bowling.
Oh, okay.
And I'm single, and Bert's single. We're on the same team. So we're bowling together, and at the end of the night, I'd ask Christine's friend, hey, give your roommate my phone number. We had a blast. So we should go out. And Bert never called me. And so I called his roommate and went, what are you doing here? What's going on here? Did you not give him my phone number? Like, I'm so cute, and we had so much fun. What is he doing? And he goes, ask him yourself. And handed him the phone. And I went, what are you doing here? We had a blast. Ask me out and I'll say yes. And Bert was like so tongue-tied. He was like, do you want to go out on a date? And I was like, yes.
Yes, I do. I'm begging.
Wednesday. So apparently Bert hangs the phone up and goes, she just wants me for my body. You've seen this guy's body. Everybody's seen his body.
Yeah. Everyone's seen it.
No, I had a good time. I've had the bodies.
Yeah.
We were having a blast. So I don't know he's thinking this, but he comes to pick me up, and I'm in a dress and heels, and I'm dressed for a date, right? And he apparently had a panic attack, could not tolerate his shoes, took me to a gay bar, totally flipped out, wouldn't eat, didn't eat, just sat like this with his finger on his like cheek and watched me eat. And was so not the person I went bowling with. Yeah. But as the night went on, he was like, so you want to go somewhere else for dessert? And I was like, yeah, because I kept waiting on that guy to show back up, that fun guy, right? And I had a feeling he was really scared of me. Like I made him really nervous. So we go to get dessert, and he goes, how about a nightcap? Okay. So we go get a nightcap. He goes, how about we go pick up a 6-pack? I'm like, okay. Remember, 3 bachelor dads. Yeah. I know exactly what this is about. Yeah. Let's go. So we pick up a 6-pack. It's like 4 a.m. at my apartment. I'm like, okay, bye-bye. Okay, bye. Bye. By that time, he'd woken back up and became himself. 9 o'clock in the morning, he calls me. What are you doing this noche? And I was like, I'm going for a hike. Can I come? And I'll cook you dinner. It's like, okay. Next day, 9:00 in the morning. What are you doing in the snow,
Shut
Che?
up.
I was like, going to yoga. Can I come? And I'll cook you dinner. Okay. Every day for 2 weeks, he called me, I'd say before 11 a.m. to make plans with me that night.
Oh my gosh.
And I went, okay. He's just really honest. Like, he has no filter. Mm-hmm. He thinks he does a little bit, but no filter. I like that. Mm-hmm. And then the more time I spent with him in these really intimate, like yoga, like hiking, we were both broke. Even though I was writing, I was making a little money. I still was, renting an apartment. I had a roommate. I was still kind of getting it done. We really got to know each other. So there were no more dates like that. Not really. Not for a while. We just hung out. And about 2 weeks in, I went, this guy is really different. This guy, I have no problem being Leanne from Bowden from 1,600 people and barefoot, and he's got no shirt, and I totally understand it. It's the first time I felt understood, right? Because it's not so many people that are from rural Georgia that go to New York, that go to LA, that pursue the arts in any way, shape, or form. It was the first time I felt like this is like from the same tribe. Florida, I would have dated anyone from Florida. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like a cardinal sin.
Oh, terrible. Or Alabama. Yeah. Sorry. No, we have land in Alabama. My mom's from Alabama, but Florida, I was like, there's no way. But for whatever reason, I just felt at home really quickly. And so I went, okay, this guy's worth figuring out.
Wow.
And that's kind of how
That's how you were just like, when you know.
Well, I didn't know, but I knew that I was willing to try something different.
Yeah.
Because I'd always just kind of dated really buttoned up guys that were like a lawyer or,
That is so polar opposite.
So polar opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you think about my dad and the two bachelors and the log cabin with no heat and the keg party and they were constantly having costume parties. They would like pull the king size mattress off the bed, put it in the living room, and wrestle and bed on it on a Tuesday.
Oh my!
So like that's my childhood.
Yeah.
So I just recognized
that's comfortable for you.
Home. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my. Well, I kind of just want to backtrack a little bit because you did say no one really pursues the arts from a rural place in Alabama. Did you always know it was something you wanted to do?
No. I didn't really know that was a possibility. I think my mom was a model, which one might say is in the arts in some ways. So I had a little exposure to art in that way. She always took me to the ballet. She took me to the High Museum of Art in Atlanta. She made sure I was exposed to art in that way. But I didn't really know people could write for a living or I mean, I knew an actor could act for a living. I think that's why I went to New York, because that was something I understood. Yeah. But I didn't really think about who wrote what they said. I thought about novelists, but I didn't want to be a novelist. So I think I just I just didn't fit anywhere. I was a finance major and I hated it. I was a psychology major and I loved it, but I didn't want to be a psychologist. I just couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. And I just felt New York had every opportunity under the sun. Yeah. So that I could figure out what I wanted to do if I went there.
You could try everything if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did. I was like, I worked on Wall Street for a little bit as a side job. I waited tables. My first job ever was driving a tow truck.
What?
I sold wedding gowns. I worked in a video store. I was in the proof department in a bank. I just kind of did everything to try and figure out what I liked.
When do you think you figured out what you enjoyed to do? Like, when were you like, holy shit, okay, I feel like even if it's not working, this is what I want to do?
When I was in New York and when I had just started writing in New York. So I was about 26, 27. And then I went, oh, I really like this. And so when I moved to LA, that's when I wrote 4 screenplays. I mean, I had a writing partner. I wrote with someone, and I really liked collaborating with her at the time. And I really liked just being highly creative. I think I was always creative. I actually won some creative writing awards in school. But I didn't, again, think, well, I should be a writer.
Yeah.
That just, people were mechanics and plumbers and nurses. And, you know, my mom being a model was so far-fetched from where I came from. And my mom and I have always had a very contentious relationship. I don't have a relationship with her now. I haven't for a long time. And so I didn't like what that represented, because it didn't represent positivity in my personal life as a child. It represented, you know, controlling my food, and it just represented all bad things. So I had no interest in being a model, and I think I lumped arts in with that a little bit for a while, but I don't know how I teased acting out of that.
Yeah.
Maybe the psychology piece of it.
Oh, maybe. When did you decide to stop having a relationship with your mom? Is that something you talk about?
Oh, I'm happy to talk about it. And as a disclaimer, my mom's never been diagnosed with any kind of mental illness, but I believe, it's my belief, that she has a borderline personality disorder. She and I have cycled in and out of a relationship my whole life. The first time she stopped talking to me, I was 13. So when I moved back with my dad at 13, I could choose what parent I wanted to live with. So of course I'm living with the 3 bachelors in the log cabin.
Yeah,
Come
with the
on,
cute boy. Yeah.
So much fun.
Yeah.
But no, I was really unhappy living with my mom. So I chose to live with my dad, and she stopped talking to me for about 1.5 years, and then would just show up like nothing happened. And you know, when you're a child, you don't understand really what that is. But then it happened again when I was 23. Interesting that it happens every 10 years, 13, 23, and then again at 33.
Whoa,
But
that's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
At 23, she was married to her 4th husband, and she was having an affair. And she asked me to lie about the affair, and I said no. And we got in a very nasty fight, and she stopped talking to me then again. You're dead to me. I never want to see you again. I don't want to know you, don't want to know your kids. You're out of my life forever. And she makes that real for years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden she'll show back up like, hey, you want to go to lunch? And you're like, wait, what? What's going on here?
Yeah, what the hell? That's like a shock to the system.
Yeah.
Like seeing a ghost.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. And so...
And are you, when that happens, are you like, I missed her? Like, yes. Like, are you willing to accept her back? Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So my mom's not all bad.
Of course, yeah.
Charming, fun, funny, happy. Again, exposed me to the arts. Really concerned with my education. She had a lot of great qualities, but I took 21 vitamins a day. I drank niacin. I only ate macrobiotic food. She was very concerned with meditating. I had to meditate. Everything was very controlled.
That's
like
crazy.
As a small child.
Yeah.
And then I go to my dad's where he'd be like, have fun in the woods for 8 hours. I'll see you when you come back, and we'll be drinking beer. You know, it was such a juxtaposition. So I always had a lot of guilt for not being able to figure out how to have a relationship with my mom. I always thought I was what she told me I was, which was too much, too defiant, too loud. I ask too much. I don't do what she says. So at 23, I was like, okay, I'm an adult now. I make my life what I want my life to be. I want my mom in my life. Let's try this again.
Yeah.
So not at 23. That's when we broke it off. I think I was about 28 when I wrote her a letter. I wrote her a letter of gratitude for all the things that she gave me, for all the lessons I learned, even from the hard parts of having her. I just wanted to say thank you. I felt like saying thank you would have me let go of blame and hurt to really focus on gratitude. So I wrote her a beautiful letter, and she called me. And I was like, great. Well, maybe we can start from that place.
Yeah.
Because I meant everything I said in that letter. It was sincere. I was like, great. Well, maybe let's build from here. Maybe we just had a rough childhood together. Maybe I was super defiant and hard-headed and nasty in the things she said. So we'll try again. And I tried really hard, and little bits of crazy started showing up again. Like, she's very into psychics, and I'd ask her to come visit me. She lived in Florida, and I'd say, come visit. She'd go, oh, the psychic told me I'm going to marry John Voight. So I can only come when John Voight's in town so that I can possibly bump into John Voight. And at 27, 8, 9 years old, I'm like, oh, I think my mom's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think this is cool.
Yeah.
So okay. I could never get her to come here unless John Voight was in LA.
Oh my gosh.
So,
how are you going to know if he was here?
I don't know. Maybe it's psychic. I don't know. But I kept asking, and she did come one time, and she met up with an old friend who was a photographer, and she was in her 50s, and she walked out of my house in a sheer button-down top with a black bra on and these leather pants that were laced up the side, and she stayed out all night. And I was like, yeah, I don't need to be keeping up with where my mature mom is in Los Angeles. No. Definitely hooking up with some rando. Okay, that's odd also. And then I started dating Bert. She did not like Bert. She felt
really?
I think she felt really threatened by Bert. And we had a little bitty fight over nothing big. And she did it again, where she was like, you're dead to me. I don't want to know you. I don't want to know anything about your boyfriend. I don't know anything about you. And I was pregnant. I was trying to tell her, hey, I need to tell you something. I need you to call me. She was mad about this little bitty fight, and she wouldn't call me back. And I asked and asked and asked for like 6 weeks for her to call me. Mm-hmm. So finally, I just wrote her an email and said, I needed to tell you that I'm getting married, mm-hmm. and then I'm going to have a baby. And I want you to come to the wedding, but you won't answer my phone calls. So you leave me no choice but to email me. So she emailed me back the nastiest email. Bert's sister was in my office with me, and that email came in, and I read it, and I printed it, and I gave it to Annie. And Annie started crying, and she said, I can't believe a mother would say this to their daughter. And I went, that's my entire life with my mom. Wow. And she will not do that to my daughter.
No. So you cut it out.
Yep.
Relationship. Yeah.
So you say goodbye. Done.
Mm-hmm.
No more.
Wow.
So that's when it stopped. When I got pregnant with Georgia, I was like, this woman will not do this to my child.
No.
No way.
And you clearly are like the polar opposite. And you said that screenwriting, you were so addicted to it. You're like now a mom.
Yeah.
And you like, do you think that having such a bad relationship with your mom, or a tumultuous relationship, whatever you want to call it, mm-hmm. Made you be such a good mother?
I think that's part of it. I think part of it is I had a really good dad.
Yeah.
Part of it is my dad had a really good girlfriend that was with him from age 8 till I was 8 till I was 21.
Okay.
She was really important. And I think seeing her being a healthy woman mm-hmm. was vital. My mom was not a healthy woman. Mm-hmm. So I think I definitely watched my mom my whole life and went, I don't want that. Mm-hmm. I don't want my child to feel this. Mm-hmm. I don't want that. So I think it definitely was part of it. Mm-hmm. Part of it is who I am. Yeah. You know, if I weren't who I am, I wouldn't have been able to make the distinction, between I don't have to repeat that. Mm-hmm. I can learn from that. So yeah, she definitely was part of it for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
I hope she's happy with number 7.
So how do you find out those? Like, do you just hear it through the grapevine that she has like?
It's a small town.
Yeah.
She's moved back to my small hometown. Mm-hmm. My dad told me that she got married to number 7.
Oh my goodness.
But I'm still in touch with her sister. Her sister did not tell me. Her sister kind of keeps it. We've agreed to just have a relationship. Yeah. And to just leave her out of it. Mm-hmm. Because that's more peaceful for my aunt.
Yeah.
I don't want my aunt to feel like she's in the middle ever.
Yeah.
But I do want to know my aunt and her kids and my cousins. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. That is the number 7. That's crazy.
Number 7. Mm-hmm. There's way more crazy about my mom, I'll tell you when the cameras aren't here, where you'll go, oh, shit.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Like legal stuff, like craziness.
Wow.
But I can't talk about that.
No. We don't want anyone to go to jail.
No.
But that's incredible that you have such a good dad and such a good relationship with your dad. And I feel like, I don't know, your dad in that bachelor pad, in that log cabin, it does sound a lot like Bert. Like,
yeah,
I feel like there's so many overlapping qualities.
Yes, there are. Yes. My dad was always like, hey, you want to build a water slide today? Yeah, let's do it. You know, like I have so many Wild West stories that I have with my dad that I could like 1-to-1 with Bert. Where we had kids and Bert was like literally the same thing. how can we build a water slide from the roof to the pool? And then I go, oh, I have experience with this. We can do this exactly. Yeah. And then he's like, can you get the stuff at Home Depot? And I'm like, I'll be right back. That's the one thing that I think people are surprised about me is I seem so buttoned up, like, to the public.
Yeah.
And I somebody has to be. I mean, one of us sobbed through our wedding. If I hadn't not sobbed, we'd still be at the altar. That dude just can't keep his shit together. But I can.
I've been around him like 3 times. I've seen him sob twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's emotional.
He's emotional.
He's emotional and reactive. And I'm dead inside. So we're perfect.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But yeah, the thing that works about us, I think, is that I am yes to whatever he says.
Yeah.
If he says something crazy, I'm like, let's go. And I think it is because I was raised by 3 bachelors.
Well, yeah, it has to be, right?
It is. It's why I love his comedy. I mean, if you saw Free Bert, there was so much about that I was like, this is the most amazing, raunchy, disgusting, misogynistic, let's go. And it's also wrong. And we're all agreeing that this is wrong.
Yeah, of course, yes.
Yes. But so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Mel Brooks is my favorite filmmaker of all time. There's so much raunchy, ridiculous, stupid in that, and that's Bert,
Yeah, that's Bert. That's what you ended up with.
I love it.
Quick commercial break. So introducing your new burger, the All-American Sonic Smasher. You can break up with your old, low-quality, overpriced burgers and instead go for the burger you really deserve with the $6 meal deal. That includes the hand smash made-to-order All-American Sonic Smasher. You can choose the All-American Smasher from Sonic instead, okay? The All-American Sonic Smasher is the burger you deserve, premium quality at a fast food price, and you can try it as a meal with medium tots or fries. I personally go for the tots because they're fire, but the fries are also amazing. And a drink just for $6. So make sure to try it and be sure to mention how the Sonic Smasher is now your go-to burger. You can get your $6 All-American Sonic Smasher meal at Sonic today. Let's get back to the episode.
What type of parents would you guys say you are? Or what kind of mom are you? Like strict levels? Are you scary? Like, do they know not what to say to you?
Well, I think your role as a mom changes throughout your child's life. So I understood for some reason that when they're little, like up until they're in school, they need to feel safe and loved. And the way I thought you did that was a little more than just hugs and kisses and that kind of stuff, which is what I gave. I was very affectionate, but it was about a schedule, which is so boring. But like nap time, bedtime, snack time, bath time I was like, not crazy rigid, but we had a schedule. My house ran on a schedule. Bert would come in and disrupt that schedule in such a major way. It took me a long time to get him to understand that it's almost like being in a roller rink on roller skates. You can go crazy and do all kinds of tricks because you have the walls around you to keep you inside, right? Once you get outside there, you're out of control. The skates are too slow, you fall, you hit people, there's too many other factors. Everybody's going in the same direction on a roller rink. And that's kind of how I felt the schedule was. So
good analogy.
When I got on board, I got him on board with that. Now we've seen other parents who are like, schedule. They sleep when they want. They eat what they want. They let us know when they're hungry. Their kids are a nightmare as adults, like cannot self-regulate.
Yeah.
I was like, you give them parameters in which they have to self-regulate. So as a mother of young kids, I think I was a lot more rigid than when they got older.
Okay.
Like when they got older and they could wait a half hour to eat and not be a complete nightmare. Okay, so let's roll with it. I think I just adjusted to what my kids needed at the different stages of their life.
Okay.
And I think a good parent has to be willing to do that. Not all parents are willing to do that. It sucks to be like, I can't go to dinner because it's bedtime.
Yeah.
It sucks for me.
Yeah.
But I'm like, the 2 days after that where my kid is screaming because I had them under the table in the baby carrier at the restaurant is not worth it. Not most people in America don't have nannies. They have to take their kids to dinner with them when they go to dinner. And that's the way we were. We never had childcare. We were broke until our kids were well into middle school, like broke. So I always put my kids' needs before my own in that way, Another way I didn't do that, I guess, is my kids wanted to sleep in bed with me. And I was like, fuck no. Mommy gets mommy time starting at 7:30 p.m.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
may be running this shit, but 7:30 comes and you're in the bed.
Yeah.
And I don't care if an arm better be falling off before you come get me.
Yeah.
You know?
You need your sleep.
So
yeah.
I had my time to watch my show or read a book or have a friend over or just whatever. So I did take care of myself. I don't mean that your needs just go totally out the door, but you have to kind of like almost schedule or prioritize them appropriately because it is a very short period of time that kids are toddlers. And when they're toddlers, I think it's like building the foundation of a house.
Yeah.
If you don't build the foundation well, the house will never be level. It will never stand. You have to build that foundation. And then once you do that, you can get looser and looser. You can have a crazy interior of your house if you've got everything kind of built well.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't, I mean, that makes so much sense. And I look at actually a lot of my friends who are fucking crazy now. And I'm like, I'm like, wait, that's probably why. That's funny. But like having you and Bert, mom and dad, obviously Bert is a crazy person in the best way possible. Like what would he get mad at your kids about? Like when does Bert yell at the kids? Like, is there ever an instance where like he would be mad?
not till they were teenagers.
Yeah, I would expect that, right?
Yeah.
And like what? Like boy stuff or like talking back or sneaking out or something? Drugs. Oh, smoking weed or something?
Yeah.
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 It was about drugs.
That makes sense. That's a good time to get mad at the kids, I guess.
Except I believed it was a little too much and for too little. You know? Kids will be kids. I never give my kids drugs, never gave my kids alcohol, never condoned it.
Yeah, of course.
Sorry. But I was a teenager.
Yeah.
I was horrible.
Yeah.
And my kids were nothing compared. That's when he would get really upset, when he would feel like they were being super disrespectful. But Bert's an interesting bird. He and Georgia are the same person. And everyone thinks he and Isla are the same person. It's not true. Isla and I are the same person. So they butted heads a lot. And Isla and I butted heads a lot. And I don't think that's unusual. But he's pretty roll with it. You know, he would roll into town. And I had to adjust the way I thought about Mondays and Tuesdays. Because that's his Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's 2 school nights. So I had to go like, okay, well, we just know Monday, Tuesday's going to be a late night when the kids were not toddlers anymore, when they were up older and they could wait a half hour to eat or whatever. And I think that allowed him the time to really parent him, the girls and connect so that he never really lost his shit with them. He was much more liberal with rules than I was. I would always be like, you're in timeout. And he would enforce that, but he would never put them in timeout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, now you guys are empty nesters.
I know.
And I was like, are you so excited for this time of your life? And you were kind of talking me through how you were intentional. You saw like what was coming up in your future. You were going to have an empty nest. It was just going to be you and Bert. And you started dating each other again, which I think is so cool. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah. How graphic can we be on this podcast? I'll tell you when it happened. We went to this restaurant called Saddle Ranch. It's in Hollywood. It's cheesy.
I know Saddle Ranch.
It's so cheesy.
I know Saddle Ranch.
So Bert had just performed at the store. It was really late. There was no restaurant open, even remotely close. And I was like starving. And he was like, let's go to Saddle Ranch. It's kind of our only option. So we went. And we, secret time, love Saddle Ranch anyway. So I go to the bathroom. I'm coming out of my stall. And a couple comes in the ladies' room and starts having sex in the ladies' room.
And you're in there.
And I'm in there.
Oh, my God.
And I go outside and I go, damn it, my life is not over yet.
Yeah.
I am doing that.
Yeah.
I am 50-something years old and I'm fucking doing that. So I don't say anything to Bert. We get in the car. We drive home. And I fuck him in our car, in our driveway.
Yes.
And I go, I will start dating my husband again.
Yes.
That is who I was. That is who I was in high school Why am I not that girl still?
Right? Yeah.
That's who I was when I was first dating Bert. I have no kids here to see anything. I can fuck him in my backyard. I can fuck him in the kitchen towel. No one's going to see but the dogs.
Yeah.
Let's go. So that's what I did. It was that couple, whoever you are, came into the Saddle Ranch bathroom and I went, I am not dead yet.
Yeah.
And I will not be middle-aged in that way.
I love that.
So that was the spark. And then I thought about, we did that when we dated.
Of course,
like once we were in a secure relationship, I didn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
We were like, well, let's go to bed. You just get into
relationship shit. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was like, we're just not doing that anymore. We're gonna expand our horizon. And we were very kind of whole milk, plain people. And I was like, let's go to a sex shop and just look at the toys. Yeah. I've never done that before in my whole life. And I walked in there and went, oh my God, I think I don't need to be in here. I'm terrified now. I don't even know what you do with half of this shit. But let's get the one thing that looks like something that actually exists in nature. And then we'll try that.
Yeah.
And then, so I got curious about that part of sex, which I never had before, because I'll be honest with you, when kids are in your house, I'm sorry, I'm not doing that. Maybe I'm a prude in that way, but I would be mortified if my daughters walked in and there was like a dildo on my nightstand.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm not doing that to my kids.
No, I remember my best friend, she found like under her mom's bed like a box of dildos. We couldn't look at her mom for like 5 months. I can't talk to my mom anymore. Exactly. I'm like, okay. Like now I look back, I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
But mortifying.
Yeah, as a child, you don't need to be processing that as a child.
No, God,
so it's just not in the house.
Yeah.
We're not doing that. Like we're not even doing that at a hotel and tossing it out and going home. I just was not, because I was like, it's almost like the first time that you have like, I don't know, a Skittle. I knew if I gave Bert any of that while my children are home, it was over.
Yeah.
So I had to sit on it until the kids were gone.
Okay, I love that.
So that was part of it, part of our dating each other. And then part of it was, we both love live music. We would always choose to stay home with our kids because Bert traveled so much. So if we were all together, we were all together. So we made the conscious decision to not go out because he's only home 2 days a week. But when they're gone, I'm like, we're going to a concert at least once a month. We're going to find a new restaurant. We're going to go on a hike. We're going to go back and do these things that we used to do when we were dating and start dating again. And we're going to plan it for each other. I mean, he threw me a huge birthday party that was a dance party. I had no idea. He would never have done that when the kids were home. He would have let them do it.
Yeah.
He would have had them do it. So it's been really beautiful. We've, I think we started our relationship so broke and from such a base place of really enjoying each other. Our dates were like Pizza Hut pizza and Scrabble because we had no money. So we built this life based on spending time together. So then when we started dating again, we were like, oh yeah, this is really amazing.
It's fun. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm like, in this relationship, it's not just a partnership.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a friendship.
Yeah.
That has other great parts to it. But at the core, Bert's my best friend and I'm his best friend.
How long have you guys been together?
24 years.
Wow. Oh, and you said you wouldn't remarry if he died?
I don't think so.
No.
Too much trouble.
Yeah. Because he was freaking out when he asked you that and you kind of thought about it and he was like, what the fuck?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I need it.
No, that's when you were like, I'm independent. I didn't even think I was going to marry this guy. And then I
didn't.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine finding another best friend.
No.
Like this. Like I have best girlfriends. We'll just go do our thing.
Isn't that the dream? Oh my gosh. There's like an island where I saw a bunch of girls. They just moved in. They all had surrogate babies and they just live in a neighborhood.
Shut up.
Yeah. I don't know if it was AI or what, but I want to believe it was real.
I mean, I'll buy into that AI.
I know, right? That's the dream.
Yes.
So yes. I'm excited for this next chapter of you and Bert's life, little empty nesters.
I know. I can't wait.
I know. It's so fun. I want to talk about one thing before I let you go. You're working on, or I don't know, you want to do your Bible. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because I thought it was really cool. And the quotes that you told me, I was like, this shit is good.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So when I was in New York, I was still kind of lost. Like I was saying, I was cocooning a little bit. And I was, because I had the mom I had some very confusing, as Bert said, what do you call them?
Oh, channel markers.
Channel markers.
It was a great analogy.
It was great. Mine were a little confusing. So I did a lot of unscrupulous things for my mom because that's what my mom wanted. And even though I knew those weren't accurate, sometimes when you're wired a certain way, you have to rewire yourself a little bit. And I was aware that I was not wired right. So I was looking for a way to have kind of a barometer or a channel marker or a compass of like, this is who I want to be. This is my integrity. This is how I treat myself. Because my mom taught me, and I'm sure she did not mean to teach me this, but the collateral damage of the way I grew up was that I was inherently wrong. Every thought, everything I tried to do, I was definitely doing wrong. And so I needed to find a way to love myself and believe in myself from an organic place, from my own self. So I started collecting. I bought a journal at Barnes & Noble. It has a beautiful angel on the front. And I wrote myself a note in the front that says something like, this is the book that guides your way starting today. And I'm just going to gather quotes, lyrics from songs, something someone said to me, a poem, a fortune cookie insert, anything that resonates with who I want to be, who I want to represent myself to in the world. So I called it my Bible, and I've been adding quotes to it since, coincidentally, Bert's birthday, 1996.
Wow.
Is when I started that book.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's so, and you kept up with it?
Yes. I've just put a quote in it last week.
Oh my gosh.
Hundreds of quotes. And I've always wanted, I've talked about it in all 8 years of my podcast. I've always talked about this Bible. I feel like it's such a wealth of inspiration for a young person in particular, or anybody that's trying to kind of find their way in the world, to go, all these great people, some not great people. I mean, I had like one of my good friends' mom used to say, don't just do good, be good. And I was like, I love that. I'm putting it in my book. So she's clearly not famous, but that was meaningful for me in that moment. So it's just all these little collected sentiments about what I want to be as a person. And I feel like I'd love to publish that. I never knew how, but I tend to do this thing where I stake a flag and I go, I'm moving to New York Easter. And I have no plans of moving to New York on Easter, but I just kind of, once I put my flag in the earth, I'll work toward that. So I just did that with the Bible, where I reached out to one of Bert's agents and went, how do I get this published? And she was like, oh, easy. Let me set a meeting. And I'm like, oh my God, now I'm going to have to get this thing published. Now I'm going to have to actually work toward it. Yeah. But I'm really excited about that. I've taken my podcast, which is 8 years long, and I've kind of outlined topics that I've talked about. So I think I'm going to compile some kind of book based on all my podcasting, as well as maybe a second or a third step in, because I was a writer. Yeah. And I love writing.
You do it all. I was going to say, like, do you still write it all? Or I guess that will be you working towards it if you do that.
I think that would be working toward me physically writing. Yeah. I have for years produced Bert's stand-up specials. I've always helped him figure out his hours. I have never written a single joke he's ever said. However, I do help him figure out the order of an hour, or, say you've said the word cat 4 times in the sentence, maybe say cat once and replace it with something else. You're just, I kind of help him edit. And I said one time, I feel like he's a knife and I'm a sharpener. So he still does all the cutting, but I just help him sharpen it. Yeah. And I did the same for Free Bert. I in no way, shape, or form wrote anything. The 2 writers, Jared and Andy, wrote everything in that. They were incredible. But I definitely gave notes. Yeah. I definitely had input that they accepted. Obviously not all of it, but I did have input. So that's kind of been my creative outlet for years with Bert, is to help him get every special ready to go. And I also do a lot in post. I love post. So I sit in the edit. Oh, I love putting together a stand-up special in post. Yeah. I love it. Oh, wow. So I've done that for years too. So I've had a lot of creative outlets. None of it's been literally sitting down and writing. So, and I run so much of Bert's life. He has 4 companies. I run all 4 companies.
Yeah, and you do all the money, everything. He's never bought you.
He has no idea where we bank.
No.
No idea. no idea where we do anything. No idea. He can't even log into Netflix without me. Not joking. And I've even been like, go on your Yahoo Mail app and push, yes, that's me. That's what you do, dude. It's not that deep. He can't do, there's a lot he needs a lot of help with, but he needs shoring up, as we say. We just shore him up so he can get it done.
Yeah, he needs you.
Yes. So I do so much and I have done so much for so long that fulfills my creative kind of itch that I haven't really wanted to write until we became empty nesters. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Things are starting to slow down. I feel drawn to that again.
Yeah, you're kind of like the girl that moved to LA again. You're ready to, that's cool.
That fucks people in the Saddle Ranch bathroom.
Exactly.
I mean, hi.
She's young.
She's back to basics.
Yes. Oh, it's freaking awesome. Well, I think you're so inspiring. You're so funny. You're so cool.
So are you. Beautiful and amazing and a self-made woman.
Thank you.
You have a lot that young ladies and gentlemen can look up to that I admire.
Thank you.
If you were my daughter, I'd be so proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're killing it in the world.
Thank you. But seriously, I loved this conversation. You're awesome. So everybody go check out LeeAnn's podcast if you haven't, and look out for the Bible. It's going to come. It's coming.
I hope it's coming soon.
Well, at least in a year. What it takes like
I'd
a
say,
year, right?
Maybe a year,
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'll come back and talk about it.
Yes.
I'll bring
I can't
you
wait
a copy.
to read it. I know. I'm actually excited. But thank you so much for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye, guys.